You are listening to The Vocal Technologist. Spoken tech for your ears.
I nearly skipped this. Thought I knew enough. I didn't.
Oh, I totally get that.
Right. Welcome to Vocal Technologist, where we untangle the things actually shifting the ground beneath us.
Yeah, the stuff that really matters.
Exactly. So we are taking a proper look at a massive reshuffling of reality across, well, 3 totally different layers.
It is a lot to get your head around.
It really is. We are talking about the literal silicon hardware locking artificial intelligence down, the software agents basically breaking our economic models, and finally, the pretty strange ways human bodies are starting to interface with this tech.
Yeah, it's a brutal reality check, really. I mean, it's easy to get caught up in the magic of a polished demo on a screen, you know?
Oh, absolutely.
But we are way past the hype phase now. What we're actually looking at is the physical, concrete construction of an entirely new planetary infrastructure. And that transition from software magic to physical steel and silicon is just messy.
Which means we need to start by looking at that literal foundation, the concrete being poured in the cloud, basically.
Yeah, that is a great way to put it.
There is a massive shift happening in how the actual chips running these models are made, specifically sussing out Google and its Gemini architecture.
Right, because historically, AI hardware has always been about, well, supreme flexibility.
Like a blank canvas.
Exactly. You build a highly capable GPU, and you can just run whatever software you want on top of it. But Google is reportedly building a custom chip with the neural network architecture for Gemini baked directly into the physical circuitry.
See, this is the part that genuinely stopped me in my tracks.
It's wild, isn't it?
It's insane. Instead of snapping Lego blocks together where you can change the design, it's like they're pouring concrete. They are fusing the model directly to the metal.
Yeah.
To me, that sounds entirely counterintuitive. The industry is locking down physical hardware for software that seemingly evolves every 5 minutes.
Right. It feels risky.
Totally. If you custom build a race car and weld the engine shut, you better hope you never need to change a spark plug. Why would they take that risk?
Well, it comes down to a ruthless pursuit of efficiency. When you keep the hardware programmable and flexible, you pay this massive tax in performance.
Energy and speed.
Exactly. By etching the exact mathematical architecture into the silicon itself, you strip out all that computational overhead. But to be clear, they can still refresh the model by loading new weights.
Okay, let's break that down for the listener who isn't a chip designer. What are the weights here?
Think of the baked-in silicon, like the physical floor plan of a massive library.
Okay.
The shelves, the desks, the aisles, they are bolted to the floor. The weights are the specific books you put on those shelves.
Oh, I see.
You can swap the books out anytime to make the library smarter, but you can't move the walls. It is a massive bet that the core architecture is stable enough to literally set in stone.
That structural lockdown is just wild. But it's really just one piece of this global scramble for raw compute power.
Oh, the scale is staggering.
It is. AMD is launching a system called Helios, which is essentially a massive rack-scale system meant to rival NVIDIA.
Yeah, and when we say rack scale, we aren't talking about a tiny chip you slot into a PC.
Yeah.
We are talking about a system that combines GPUs, CPUs, networking, all of it into one giant unified inference machine. And the cost is immense. Estimates are like $5 million just for a single rack.
And the deals being signed to secure these racks are astronomical. AMD signed an agreement with Anthropic for up to 2 gigawatts of chips, plus a $5 billion investment.
2 gigawatts is just hard to even conceptualize.
Right. Had to look it up. That is enough power to run a major metropolis. It's like powering a couple of million homes.
Just for computation.
Exactly. And Meta is reportedly in talks to lease up to $10 billion in computing power to Anthropic as well.
Which highlights a really strange dynamic, honestly. The demand is so insatiable that even a giant like Meta is basically renting out its excess capacity to a rival.
It's like building the world's biggest freight train and renting out the spare carriages just to pay for the diesel.
Yeah, exactly.
But if we pull back, there is a heavy geopolitical layer to all this pouring of concrete. SpaceX is reportedly in talks to provide computing power for the Pentagon's AI push.
Which has national security officials raising red flags. You are becoming utterly reliant on a single billionaire's services for critical infrastructure.
And internationally, this arms race is purely physical now. A Chinese lab called Z.AI operates a massive data center running only on Chinese-made chips.
Completely bypassing U.S. export controls.
Right. And at the same time, a former TSMC manager was indicted for allegedly stealing confidential chip documents, supposedly to take that to China.
Yeah, the industrial espionage is ramping up.
I always try to suss out the core motivation here. Why is the defense sector pushing so hard? Why isn't the stuff they already have good enough?
Well, it basically comes down to cybersecurity and the rise of open-weight models.
Let me jump in there because open weight gets thrown around heaps. What does that actually mean for cyber threat?
So think of a closed model, like OpenAI's, as a brilliant chef in a locked kitchen. You slide a request under the door, they slide out a meal. You have no idea how they made it.
Right. It's a black box.
Exactly. An open-weight model means they publish the exact recipe, the oven temps, everything. Anyone can download the chef's brain to their laptop and modify it, including to write malicious code.
Right. So the threat isn't just a dodgy phishing email anymore. It is an automated swarm actively probing your infrastructure.
Spot on. And you cannot fight an intelligent threat like that with legacy IT tools from 5 years ago.
Which brings us to a, frankly, hilarious symptom of how fast this is moving. The scale of this cloud infrastructure is literally breaching the billing systems.
Oh, the AWS bug?
Yes. Amazon Web Services had a bug that accidentally sent users estimated charges of up to $2.5 trillion.
$1 trillion topo.
This is a bit ordinary, isn't it?
Yeah, but it reveals how convoluted cloud consumption actually is. Systems are tracking fractions of pennies across billions of tokens and API calls every millisecond. When that glitches, the numbers just go exponential.
So the hardware is turning to concrete, but the software is becoming completely fluid. Let's get into the guts of what this means for actually building things.
It's a total collapse in the cost of writing code.
Exactly. Take enterprise code migrations. Historically, that was a multi-year nightmare. But Anthropic is using their Claude code agent to run large-scale migrations automatically.
The paradigm has shifted entirely. It is no longer about hiring humans to fix code. It's about fixing the process that produces the code.
Right.
With agent swarms, the unit of work is no longer the keystroke. The unit of work is the specification, the spec.
So instead of micromanaging how the bridge is built, you just write an incredibly precise spec about what wind speeds it has to survive.
Exactly. If the spec is watertight, the swarm just executes it.
Which creates a really confronting reality for engineering teams. If code generation costs zero, having a massive headcount is no longer a flex.
No, not at all.
Someone phrased it perfectly.
Yeah.
Headcount is now just about how much accountability you can afford.
I love that framing. When an AI writes 80,000 lines of code over the weekend and breaks production on Monday, you need a human to own the failure. You hire for judgment, not typing speed.
We're seeing this reshape corporate structures too. The newest AI-native companies have tiny staffs and almost no middle management. Everyone is a player coach.
It's the ultimate proving ground for what massive corporate giants are trying to achieve through layoffs, trying to get the same output with a fraction of the workforce.
I've got to admit, I am pretty skeptical about some of these hypergrowth startups, though. Are they actually creating heaps of value, or is this just a dodgy shell game?
Your skepticism is entirely warranted there.
You just looked a bit ordinary when you dig into the revenue numbers.
Yeah, there is a quiet problem here. A huge percentage of them are scaling revenue by reselling inference at negative margins.
So they take a raw API call to OpenAI, slap a slick UI on it, and sell it at a loss, just to acquire users.
Exactly like buying premium coffee beans, putting your own label on the cup and selling it for less than the beans cost you. It looks like explosive growth to venture capitalists, but it is completely unsustainable.
Well, if you are keen on picking this stuff apart with us, hitting subscribe means you won't miss the next one. But let's look at the actual tools being built for this agent reality.
Yeah, the plumbing of the internet is adapting fast. Cloudflare introduced these things called durable objects.
Right.
They are highly token-efficient environments made explicitly for agentic workflows. Basically, a serverless, single-threaded database environment.
Okay, translate that for me. What does that actually look like for the agent?
Think of it like renting a tiny, fully equipped office space for exactly 1 millisecond.
Okay, I like that.
Instead of booting up an entire heavy server just to check the weather, this microscopic environment spins up, the agent does its task, and it vanishes. It is perfect for millions of agents doing tiny jobs.
And on the enterprise side, OpenAI is launching Presence. It is a platform for managing real-time voice agents, so your AI rep doesn't accidentally offer a customer a free car.
Right, but we should note that adoption of these protocols is rarely smooth. Take WebMCP, for example.
Browser protocol.
Yeah, it lets web pages register functions that a browser-based AI can call directly.
So an AI assistant could just click checkout for you?
In theory, yes. It has massive industry support on paper, but actual site adoption is basically zero right now. It is incredibly messy in practice.
So the hardware is locked in silicon, the code is cheaper than dirt, and the agents are trying to do the heavy lifting. Which brings us to the part nobody is really talking about.
The human element.
Exactly.
Yep.
Where does this leave us? The biological and psychological interface.
Well, the physical interface we've relied on for decades, keyboards and glass screens, is starting to vanish.
It is wild. BrainCo showcased an EEG headset that decodes brain signals to control a robotic arm. The person literally just thought about moving their hand, and the robot grasped an apple.
And it is moving into the body itself. Science Corporation won EU regulatory approval for Prima. It's a microscopic chip implanted directly into the back of the eye.
For macular degeneration, right?
Yes, it works with camera-equipped glasses to bypass damaged cells and transmit a view of the world straight into the implant.
It's incredible medically. But even consumer tech is shifting. Over in China, ZTE released the Navex Ultra. They call it an agentic smartphone.
Bypassing the app ecosystem entirely.
Yeah. It has a dedicated physical button to pull up an AI agent called Dubao. You don't open apps, you just talk to the agent.
But there is a massive ceiling to all this digital intelligence, and it is firmly rooted in the physical world. Travis Kalanick raised $1.7 billion for a robotics company called Atoms.
To build a wheelbase for robots, which is such a massive reality check. I was reading something that argued maybe intelligence ain't all that. Generating ideas wasn't the bottleneck. Reality is.
It's a variation of Moravec's paradox. High-level reasoning requires very little computation, but basic sensor motor skills, like walking or pulling concrete, require massive effort.
Exactly. An AI can generate a flawless blueprint for a suspension bridge in 3 seconds. But you still need humans and machines to pour the concrete and fight gravity.
Which creates this fascinating tension, what some are calling the productivity experience paradox.
Let's pick this apart, because this is what's really rattling around my head.
It's a profound philosophical issue. AI is brilliant for external goods. Money, status, output. If you only care about getting a report written, AI is a superpower.
But it's corrosive for internal goods.
Yeah.
The mastery, the deep satisfaction of doing a hard thing yourself. If I automate my whole life, I feel that loss of pride.
You become a supervisor.
Right. It's like buying a flat-pack table versus building one in the garage. The store-bought one is instant, but you don't care about it.
We approve things, we don't make them. And that strips away a fundamental part of the human experience. If you outsource the effort, you outsource the meaning.
I feel like if you're using AI to write your best man speech, you are really having a lend of yourself.
Oh, absolutely.
It perfectly explains this movement toward calm technologies. People want tools that let us rest, quiet spaces to actually mull over a thought instead of being bombarded with hyperspeed output.
We are actively craving friction because friction is where meaning happens.
I reckon we need to step back and look at the whole board here. We are taking neural nets and casting them into solid silicon. The economics of software have collapsed to where human headcount is a liability metric.
And we're putting chips in our eyes and outsourcing our skills. It is a complete rewiring of how value is created.
And the most telling part might be what is happening to the open web. Google is building an AI fence, replacing search results with conversational answers, choking off traffic to the open web. We built the most powerful infrastructure in history, but we're fencing off the very human spaces it was meant to navigate. The cost of intelligence is crashing, but the cost of meaning, I reckon that's going up. Vocal technologists, see you soon.
Spoken Tech for your ears.